Hi, everybody. It's Dale Walsh with Sane and Sober on Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. And we're honored to have as our guest today Adam Duval, the founder of the Mental Health Warriors. There's the Mental Health Warriors, and then there's Mental Health Warrior, who's Adam Duval. And as we play our intro, we'll get right back to the show. So hang on, and we'll be right there. Whoops. Sorry about that. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. It's Sane and Sober with Dale Walsh and Adam Duval. And today we're going to talk about a few things, including medication. We're going to talk about medication and how it affects mental health and illness. But especially we're going to concentrate on what are the future plans of the mental health warriors. So as always, I'll begin the show with a poem that I wrote since I'm the Poetic Warrior, and this one's called On Metaphysical Paths I Amble. O wondrous deity, how great are your designs on the complex intricacies of this earthly existence, when all we know is sacred consciousness plays out its actions in a state of apparently endless polarity, although the wise realize that the cosmos is unity, and energy is the only concrete constant in the universe. I comprehended I would create velvet velour as real, but I never knew when or where she would manifest, or how she would look when physically appearing, until the moment when I became connected with you, who is the perfect creation to complement my reality in both lovely form and deep spiritual awareness. More than a mythic deitess, but the true divine mother, whom I have chanced to adore for the moment of eternity, while lost in the ambiguities of planetary confusion, as the world in perpetuity orbits around the solar father, held by its gravity even as your perfect visage reflects the purity of essence that is the source of all vitality. So that's a little mouthful to absorb, right, Adam?
Absolutely. And we've got a quick comment from Elizabeth. I don't know if it's happening on my end, but you need to go into your settings on audio and fix the echoing. I don't know. But anyway.
Is there
am I echoing, guys? Am I echoing?
I heard something, but I think it's fixed.
Right. Okay. Well,
I don't think you're echoing.
Yeah, we'll see how the show progresses.
Right. Yeah. And we see Carolyn Murphy Bennett is on too. So welcome. Yeah. So welcome, Adam. How are you today?
Thanks for having me back. Do you know what? I actually checked this morning, and it's been 4 months since you actually last had me on the show.
I know. I was going through my old shows and it said like 5 months ago, and I'm like going, wow, it doesn't seem like that long ago, you know. But
I know. Well, either way, I'm actually really good. I've been really busy, as you can all see.
Well, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you've been doing and how the mental health warriors are coming along?
Oh, right. What, and you want me to talk about the future of it as well?
Well, we'll get to that. I'm talking about why don't we talk about the present, and why don't you sort of summarize where we come from before we go into the future?
All right, okay. What have I been up to? Well, obviously, as people know, I did have a bit of a breakdown about a couple of weeks ago. So I took a week off, which I handed the reins of the mental health warriors over to my partner, Kerry Burr, Steve Knapp, and Claire Wilding, which, while I mentioned Claire's name, I want to give a big shout out to her because I know she's dealing with a lot of personal issues at the minute. So the Warriors are all behind her, and we can't wait for her to come back next week. But now I'm back. We've been busy, and I said the day I came back, there's going to be some massive changes within the Warriors. And I believe I've
we
actually
all trembled, Adam. We all trembled when you said that.
What's that?
We all trembled when you said that.
Did you?
We were all shaking in our boots.
Did you? No, I did say there were going to be some big changes happening within the Warriors, and I feel like I'm actually succeeding that. I'm still in the process of doing it, but yeah, I believe the ball's rolling, and obviously we've got a couple of new faces within the Warriors. We've got Kane Novak, who will be starting his new show on the 22nd of March. We've got Kim Dunlop that'll be starting her show a few days later. So yeah, it's all happening.
And so, who remains from the originals? There's Stirada.
Who were the original Warriors?
Yeah, from the original Warriors. Who is still on the team?
Who's still on the team? Well, obviously there's me, there's you, of course, because you're here. There's my partner Kerry. Then there's the human GPS Kerry Bear. Then we've got Steve Knapp, the mindset warrior. We've got the creative warrior Dorota. We've got the inspirational warrior Melissa Christie. That will be back on Monday. We've got, people are going to hate me for this.
Claire Wilding, right? Or is she not?
Claire Wilding, the reboot warrior, she's still here. She'll be back next Thursday with her show. We've got, I do know what, every time I come across the list of the Warriors, I always forget. But we've got the addiction warrior, Jason Bishop. He'll be back at some point to join people. Obviously, he's not. I'm actually building him up. Well, me and Kerry are actually helping him him up for him to start a host in the show. So watch that space where he's going to talk everything addiction. So there you go.
Well, that brings up our next our focus topic today, which is addiction. And
Yes.
You were telling me that we were going to talk about medications, and you were telling me that you were addicted to prescription drugs for a while.
I was, yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. But obviously, before I do that, I want to give a big shout out also to every single female alive because it's International Women's Day. So there you go. That's the big shout out from the Warriors. But yeah, going back to the addiction. Growing up, obviously, I was actually in and out of hospital every 6 months because I just kept filling myself with prescription medications, whether it's obviously I'm not going to name them, but yeah, that's exactly what I did. And
right?
What's that?
Antidepressants.
Yeah, it was all antidepressants. It was all prescription, like over the counter medication you can get. And I used to go to the doctors every 2 weeks for medication, to the point I actually went up one day, and this was quite a few years back, and I said, I need some sleeping tablets and I need some antidepressants. And he turned around to me. Obviously, he's passed away now, but he turned around to me and he says, Adam, I'm sorry, but we can't prescribe you with any more medication because it's just going to make your depression even worse than it already is. So then he put a note on the system on his computer, which the message goes out to every single doctor there is, that not to prescribe Adam with any more medication. And ever since then, I just stopped. And I have not taken a single tablet since.
And did you go through withdrawal? I mean, what was the effect of you stopping so suddenly?
I think it was those words. I think he actually gave me a bit of a reality check to actually what will happen in the long term if I carried on taking these prescription medications. Because obviously, like I said, I was in and out of hospital every 6 months because of these medications. Obviously, I've never had my stomach pumped because of it, but if I have, I don't remember. But there's been a couple of occasions where I came close to actually overdosing. So, yeah.
So, my experience is the other way around. Is that I would stop my medication, and within I'm sorry about the echo. I don't know that, but I would stop my medication, and within 2 weeks I'd be in the hospital, and they'd like re up my medication, and then I would be okay.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously with medication, sometimes it works for people, sometimes it doesn't. I've never been against people taking medication. If they need it for themselves, fine, go ahead, take it. But I always believe there's always an alternate. There's alternative method to taking medication. And yeah, and as you touched on addiction, ever since then, from the age of 12 years old, my abusive, narcissistic, drug addict mother fixated me on alcohol, where literally she drummed it into me that alcohol was the answer to everything. But I've now learned, no, it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, the name of this show is Straight, Sane, and Sober. So
Exactly.
what I say is straight means I'm taking my no, straight means I'm not doing marijuana or any drugs other than medication. Sane means I'm taking my medication, and sober means I'm not drinking alcohol. So
Yeah.
that's the origin of straight, sane, and sober. So I've been straight, sane, and sober for 14 years.
Exactly.
But I'm basically, well, I always used to say to people, my problem isn't substance abuse. My problem is my schizophrenia. So for too long I rationalized my use of marijuana, which was like really my big drug. I rationalized my use of marijuana because I'd say, well, it's the only thing that lets me relax because of and takes the chemical edge off my medication with
Yeah.
my antipsychotic medication. So, it was sort of like a catch-22. I need the marijuana because I'm taking the medication, but the medication makes me need marijuana.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what happened was I just stopped. I stopped marijuana and beer at the same time. Went cold turkey. Got a case of shingles within 6 weeks, but I never went back. And it's been 14 years now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and I hear the shingles as a result of anxiety. And when I tried to tie my shingles to my stopping marijuana and beer, everybody laughed, but I'm convinced it was the truth.
Mm. You're a
But
living legend, Dale. You're a living legend.
thank you. But I went cold turkey on cigarettes too.
The thing is, though, it's always okay to go cold turkey from time to time.
Well, the thing is that this antipsychotic medication, you really can't stop it suddenly because your brain gets used to it, and then if you don't just It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Right, Kerry? Okay.
But so did you find the medication help you?
Meditation, right. Now that's a funny, this is another story. At first, with all the spiritual and all that, I never believed in it. I thought it was a big hoax. I was about to swear there, but I best not. But meditation, I've not always done it. And I thought, you know what? And I've had many people saying, Adam, try this meditation. Just try it. Just give it a go. Because it's always good to try something at once. So I thought, right, whatever. Let's just give it a go. And you know what? Ever since I tried it first time, I thought, right, okay, there may be something to do with this. So I want to try it again to get my honest view on it. I've never looked back. I love it. I do meditation. I do aromatherapy. I'm like, wow, here we go.
Well, I have a very mixed meditation practice. I'm not like too good at following up on it all the time, but I think it's good. One thing that my coach suggested, which I've implemented, is just take like 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, actually, I do an hour now of silence when I wake up, and I just lie in bed and just like calm down for the day. And people say that they have monkey chatter in their brain, and they have monkey brain, and that's never been my problem. Well, it hasn't been my problem for a long time, because I just lie in bed and it's like very peaceful because I have no thoughts or anything. It's just like, okay, fine,
Can we swap then, Dale? Because lying in bed in my house, it's not peaceful. Because you've got a partner that kicks you during the night, or punches you in the face, in a playful way, by the way. We've got kids that keep running and jumping on us, and we've got cats running around like there's no tomorrow.
Well, you got a lot of factors that I don't have. I don't have a wife.
Is there any wonder why I'm losing hair?
Absolutely, I understand.
No. In all honesty, though, come on, I had to bring a bit of humour tonight, didn't I? But what's that?
I got a humorous story. I got a humorous story about medication. I've told this one before, but I'll tell it again. So I was taking 30 milligrams of a medication a day, of antipsychotic medication, right? And I was at college, and there was this guy who kept insisting he wanted to try my medication. I said for the longest time, no, I'm not going to give you my medication. You don't want to try it. So he was like really into drugs. So he just kept insisting. I said, finally, okay, I'm going to find out if this medication is as strong as I think it is, and whether I actually have a condition or not. So I gave him 10 milligrams of my two 5 milligram pills of my medication, and a side effect medication. So I said, okay, take one pill, see how you feel, and then take the second one if you want to, but don't force it. So he went home and he takes the pill and he's sitting on his bed, and after 30 minutes he realizes he can't move anything but his thumbs to play Nintendo. So he's paralyzed for 4 hours. It takes him 4 hours to be able to move his arm enough to get the side effect medication. So he gets the side effect medication and he takes it, and after 30 minutes he's feeling better and he's not paralyzed or anything. So then, now this is a third of my daily dosage. And then and this guy was experiencing a lot of drugs. So then he takes the second pill. Long story short, Adam, for the next 18 hours, he was paralyzed in his bed, only able to move his thumbs to play Nintendo. And that was a third of my daily dosage.
Oh my God. How do I get my head around that one? Oh my God. This needs sharing, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Come on, share this, guys.
But people say, people say you're perfectly sane, and there's nothing wrong with me. And I say, see me off. I always used to say, see me off my medication. And people would say, why don't you stop the medication? Why don't you just smoke pot? And I'd say, well, I have a chemical imbalance in my brain, and I understand that. And without the medication, I'm not sane. I'm not Dale.
Yeah.
So, but the good news is in the last like 3 years, I've gone from 30 milligrams to 10 milligrams a day.
Okay.
So that's my big medication story about how powerful my medication is.
What's that? Sorry.
I said that's my big medication story about how strong my medication really is.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're not experiencing that anymore. And you're here, you're on the Warriors, and you're helping us bring change and stopping the stigma surrounding schizophrenia as well. Because the biggest stigma, which obviously I've learned from my course, is all schizophrenics, as people still brand them now with this stereotyping rubbish, is they're all nutters and they're all lunatics. No, they're not. Dale, you've got schizophrenia and you're one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Well, I remember Jamie Johnson, who was the guest of my second show, the boxer.
Yeah.
I after the show, she said, "You've completely changed my perception of schizophrenics."
There you go. There you go.
And the thing about schizophrenia is it can be out of control, but it's also like a very spiritual illness, and it's like and it's a very creative illness because I know so many of my schizophrenic people that I've known are like either great artists or great musicians, or I consider myself a very good poet, and I think that it all it all comes out in the wash, and I'm at my poetry has been like has been a very necessary leg or component of my recovery.
Yeah.
Because if I hadn't been able to express myself, that's the problem with most schizophrenics. They're either afraid of or unable to express themselves. And poetry has given me the outlet to be able to express myself.
Yeah. Wow. I'm glad you got it under control. I really am.
Well, it took a long time.
Hey, as the saying goes, better late than never.
Well, it took me like 18 years, but on the other hand, I've been out of the hospital for almost 30 years now.
Wow. Wow.
I had 15 hospitalizations in 18 years, and now I've been out of the hospital for 29 years.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. I really don't.
Well, just congratulate me and say good
Exactly.
job.
Exactly. I am congratulating you, and I'm proud of you.
Well, I appreciate that, Adam, and I'm proud of you too. I know you still struggle sometimes, and you always come back, and you're very resilient, and that's one of the qualities that's absolutely essential for overcoming a mental illness.
Yeah, well, you see how busy I actually get, and no wonder my mental health deteriorates from time to time. But it's all right. It is. It's all right because I always bounce back.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I said this to Kerry. I said the day before I actually was due to come back. I said I'm coming back. I'm going to be bigger. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be stronger minded. And look, I'm here. I'm kicking ass.
Right. Well, I know you. I know you never. Well, the motto of the Mental Health Warriors is never quit, right?
Hashtag never quit. Yep, that sticks with us.
So, so why don't we move on to the future of mental health warriors?
Yeah. What do you want to know about it?
Well, I just want to know what do you. Well, we can talk about both long term and short term, but what short term projects are going on, and what I guess they're like 4 or 5 new warriors, and there's been a turnover, right? So,
There
uh,
is, yes. Yeah, there has been a massive turnover. And you know what? We're not fully turned over because there are going to be new faces. The viewers are going to see new faces. And this is all linked to my big change. There's going to be new faces. There's going to be new shows, new topics for all of us to talk about. And this is all just short term. Obviously, like I said, we've got merchandise now where people can order. Obviously, we've got pens.
right.
Yeah, we've got pens. We've got beautiful mugs. Oh, you can order them all, and we're actually looking at T-shirts next.
I think that's a necessary component, Adam, is the T-shirt.
Yes, that all this is all short term, but the long term in all of this is we're gonna look into becoming an NGO. For people that don't know what an NGO is, it's a non-governmental organization where we're pretty much doing what we all do. We get paid to do what we do, and yeah, there you go.
So what's the difference between an NGO and a nonprofit?
Good question. That is a really good question. I actually really need to look into that, but I think there's nothing different. If any viewer can find that out, that question, go for it. But in my view, I don't think there's any difference.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think they're like tax ramifications differences.
Yes. You only get taxed if you're earning loads. But with us, we're not going to be earning loads. Obviously, we're not financially secure at the minute. We're not. We're pretty much running off our own back pockets at the minute. So, but yeah, an NGO will look good, which will then attract sponsorship for the Warriors. And yeah, and what you see now, it's going to get a hell of a lot better.
I think that's the key is that a nonprofit is what it says. It doesn't make a profit, whereas an NGO is a for-profit organization.
Yes.
I think that's the difference.
I don't know, but if someone can find that out, that'd be absolutely amazing. Yeah, but there you go.
What's the strategy behind becoming an NGO? I mean, why do you want to become an NGO?
Why do I want to become an NGO? Because I feel like that fits right. Because I don't want to be a charity, but I also don't want to be a community interest company. Now, I know what we're doing is we're building a community, not just a local community. We're building an international community surrounding all this. And I just feel like an NGO would actually fit perfectly. And to believe it or not, it was actually Caroline's idea when I spoke with her about this particular topic. And she believes an NGO would look better on us rather than a CIC or a charity or even a business.
Right. That's so. Tell us a little bit about the new Warriors.
The new Warriors, right? Kane Novak and Kim Dunlop. I'm going to start with Kim because obviously I was leaving ladies first. And Kerry's
Especially
going
on
to be commenting.
International Women's Day.
Exactly. Kim, she is NLP certified. She is a profile communicating specialist, and she is also a professional dating coach. So what she will be doing is she will be hosting her own shows. I think it's going to start. Just bear with. I'm just need to think now. On the 25th of March. So it will be Fridays, and she is going to be talking about connection, about absolutely connecting with people, whether it's friends, family, work colleagues, anyone, but also connecting with yourself. And she's going to be inviting all these guests on, and there you go. That's what she'll be talking about. Finally connect, teaching people how to connect with themselves.
Well, that's her warrior name. It's the connector, right?
She is the connector.
Okay.
Yep. Kane, wow. What can I say about him? He's full of confidence. Now, obviously, he's had his struggles like all of us, but he will be coming on and he'll be starting on the 22nd of March, which will be a Tuesday. And he will be talking all about the stigma surrounding bullying. Now, this is what the mental health warriors are going to start tackling on more and more and more, and that is bullying. Bullying in the community, bullying in the workplace, bullying at home, bullying everywhere, and even in schools and colleges. He's going to tackle them all, and he's going to be bringing guests on or from all over. Obviously, with Kim's show, she's only going to be starting once a month, but with Kane, he's going to be doing it once a fortnight. And obviously, yeah, I've actually lined up to be his first ever guest. So there you go. So we're going to be talking all bullying.
One thing about bullying that's very prevalent in the United States, I don't know about in Britain, but
There's a
bullying
lot.
on social media. Bullying on social media and, body shaming and just how, like, people get
Yeah.
on. And, I mean, because there have been, like, stories about, like, people have been driven to suicide by social media bullying. It's just like,
Yeah.
people can, like, get on someone's Facebook page or something and just, like, be relentless and bullying and, and taunting and calling them, no good and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's a big problem, at least here in the United States, because, it's affecting everybody from, like,
It is.
7-year-old kids up to, like, big adults.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what the mental health warriors are going to start doing. We're going to tackle this. And we're starting on the 22nd.
Well, that sounds great.
Yeah. And don't worry, I've actually also lined up to bring 3 more new faces on, but I'm not giving their names away as of yet. I'm not giving anything away there.
So, what's the ideal number of mental health warriors as you see it, or is it unlimited?
What do you mean?
I mean, how many mental health warriors do you foresee having as, like, part of the cohesive group?
Well, I feel like there's enough for just one more to actually host their own show, but then the rest is just going to be a community. That's all we're doing, being a community. If they want to jump on the shows, get them on the shows. But we're building an absolute freaking a massive community here, and I cannot wait to succeed because, as I said, the mission is to end the stigma surrounding mental illness, and we are not going to stop until that stigma is dead.
Well, one thing has become a big theme for me is ending the self stigma of, like, people
Yes.
just getting down on themselves because of mental illness and helping them to realize that it's nobody's fault.
Mm.
But I was shaming myself for years because I felt so guilty because through my drug use I felt I'd like brought on my schizophrenia, and ultimately I realized now it had nothing to do with drugs or anything. It was just like the roll of the dice.
Mm.
So, but I think that self stigma is like the most dangerous type of thing because it'll drive people to like harm themselves and everything. And yeah, I mean, and then you know, build upon that the social stigma that society imposes on schizophrenics and seriously mental ill people. And it's just like it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, it can.
And
It can.
so, how do you propose to end the stigma, Adam?
By getting people to come onto the show and tell their story. Because, like as I say, it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, because we've all got skeletons in our closet. There's not one person I have come across that doesn't. And that's exactly what we're doing. Overcome that fear, gain that confidence, gain that motivation, come onto the show, live broadcast, or shall I say non-judgmental and non-biased podcast, and share your story, because at the end of the day, we are on a public platform when it comes to YouTube, and look at the percentage of the world population that watches YouTube. It gets into the hundreds of millions of people each time, and they're going to see your story, because at the end of the day, one day, we're going to die. We're not going to be here anymore. But the thing is, our stories will. And if people can share their stories, that'll live on for generations.
Well, the other thing is that for ending the stigma, the more people understand and the more people hear these stories, not only does that reduce the stigma, but also it makes a person like it liberates the person to be able to be free to think about themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I think you're providing like a very valuable and necessary platform for those stories to come out. I mean,
Thank you.
I feel like absolutely blessed that I've been able to do this show because I mean, I don't really talk about myself that much, but still, just like having that presence on camera and being able to interview people and let people see that I'm not like some sort of monster, that I'm
No,
just
you're
like an
not.
intelligent guy who like did too many drugs.
Now, the thing is, you mentioned the word interview. Now, I don't believe any of these are interviews. Any of our shows are interviews. They are just discussions with questions. That's
And
all they are.
conversations. More,
Exactly. And as well, I'm going to give a prime example. I'm going to give a prime example of why people should come onto our platform. Because I'm going to take my beautiful, stunning wife, Kerry, for example. Now, I know she'll be fine with me sharing this because I'm absolutely freaking proud of her, that girl. I really am. I'm really proud of her. And she lives with depression and social anxiety. She lives with them. And she has had a negative upbringing. Now, she has tried everything, self-harm. She's even attempted suicide on a number of occasions. But the thing is, the best thing she ever did was come onto the camera. Yes, at first she was a bit hesitant, bit reluctant at first. But as soon as she shared her story for the very first time, especially with the Campfire Project with the amazing Scott Carson, she opened up even more. And that's where the confidence gained via the Mental Health Warriors and the Campfire Project. And we're working together in some way. We're working together because you're going to see Alan Stevens on here on a regular basis. And now look at Kerry. She's got her own show. She brings all these brilliant people on. And she's going to end the stigma surrounding disability discrimination. That's her mission. And I'm fully behind her, and so are all the warriors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm proud of Kerry, and I always will be.
Well, I'm very impressed with the quality of the people who you've chosen to be the warriors, Adam.
Well, it's funny you say that because people don't need to be on the team to be a warrior. We're all warriors.
Right.
We all are. Robert Brooker, he's tuned in tonight. He's a warrior. Caroline's a warrior. And Caroline will be coming back at some point.
Right.
And she'll be bringing Words as Medicine back. Power Hour of Mindfulness with Steve. That's on ice at the minute, but that'll be coming back. Empower You with Tessa and Steve. I'm unsure when it comes to that. I'm unsure. I don't know if that will be coming back. I don't know.
Which one?
The Empower You with Tessa and Steve. I don't know if that will be coming back. I don't know. I need to speak to them regarding that.
Well, I love having the weekly forum myself. I not only for my self growth, but also for the growth of the audience, and also for the growth of the people I interview.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, people have now started to look forward to the Mental Health Warriors. Now, at first, they thought, right, okay, we're just going to tune in to see what this is all about. But now, there's a schedule. Because every week, every Sunday, I publish a TV guide out to the world via Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I post it everywhere for people to tune in. Yeah, obviously I've got UK on it. I've got UK time, but I'm not going to sit there on the TV guide and put every single person's time on it. That'll take me forever, and I'll run out of space. But there you go, like what Robert said. He certainly enjoys engaging here. Well, there you go. That's just someone right there. I've never met any of you people, but you're all part of my dysfunctional family. And as they say, the Addams family.
The Addams family, alrighty. But so, what do you see? Say like 2 years down the line, what do you see for the mental health warriors, Adam? I know you're in this for the long run. So, okay. So let's say you become an NGO and you have like 10 to 13 or 14 basic warriors who do the shows and everything. What are your ambitions?
Just to keep doing what we're doing. Now, I know there's podcasts out there that want about 1,000 subscribers in about 2 weeks of starting. We're not like that. We're not like that. We have literally just touched over 500 subscribers on YouTube. Just that. And YouTube has been going for nearly 2 years. Facebook, the Mental Health Warriors, will be 2 years come June. We've got about almost 1,800 followers, 1,800. But we're reaching about 10,000, 15,000 each time. But in 2 years, I want that either doubled or tripled.
I think that's a very reasonable goal. The analogy. Did you ever play the game Risk? Do you know the game Risk?
Game Risks?
The game Risk.
No.
It's a board game Well, basically, I'll give a quick explanation, but basically, Risk is a game where you try to take over the world, and you have armies and everything, and for every continent you have, then you get a certain number of armies every time. So basically, I would always start with Australia, which was the smallest continent, but every time if you own Australia, you got two extra armies every turn, and that would like build up. So so that's the same thing I think you're doing with the Warriors is rather than trying to like get mass exposure, you're just building up a loyal following that's going to be in your corner definitely.
Absolutely. And obviously we're going to come across people that are going to come into the Warriors, but then going to leave the Warriors and never to return. And that's okay. That's okay because that shows it wasn't fit for them. Now, we've had a few people that have come and left, and that's okay. But thing is, the door will always be open to, I won't say all of them, but some of them. The door will always be open. And if they choose to come back, happy days. If they don't, that's okay as well. Because the thing is, I've learned something. The true people that support this mission will always remain on the team.
Right.
Yeah. And the true people that support our mission as well will keep coming back every single episode or even every week to tune into powerful and inspiring shows like this one. Like Robert Brooker, Deborah Harrell.
Carolyn.
Back.
Carolyn. I just want to give a shout out to the people who do come back to my show every week because it's very encouraging to know you aren't talking to anybody. I mean, it's encouraging to know you're talking to somebody. And even though I know there are a lot of people that just watch the replays and everything, one thing that I'm looking to do for you is to figure out how to turn these videos into audio so that people can listen to the episodes on MP3s and I think that's an important next step in our growth too.
Yes, yeah, and that's one of the things. Yeah, that's one of the things we're going to be looking into as well. Absolutely.
Because people these days, I mean, they listen to podcasts endlessly on audio, but very few people, I think, or not too many people have the patience or the time to just like sit in front of a video screen for an hour at a time, because life is so busy and complicated at this point that a lot of people just don't have the time. I understand that perfectly, but that's why I suggested to you we figure out a way to get the audio from the videos and then we can like market, like get those going.
Yeah, I agree. And that is something I'm not even going to say we're going to consider. We're going to do it, but we're going to look into this. Absolutely. Yeah, I like this idea. I really do. So let's get it done.
We'll get it done. So so let me see. So you say you want to have like 2,000 to 3,000 followers in 2 years, but I think that might be realistic, but I also think it might be conservative because I think every week that you have like shows, you're building momentum and people talk about it, say, hey, have you seen the I mean, it's like any TV show, I mean, have you seen the latest episode of Straight, Sane and Sober? And people say, no, what happens? Well, Adam Duval was on and, it's just like build momentum. I think that the hardest part is like getting the first 500 to 1,000 listeners because then the momentum builds upon itself.
Yeah, exactly. And as Deborah says, thank you for an opportunity to share my story. I'll keep spreading the word. Exactly.
Well, I feel very honored because I'm the one who interviewed Deborah, and she's a great lady, and she has a great story, and she's actually working on building a lot of things that I'm thinking about having her come back on just so she can tell us about what she's been doing because she's
Exactly.
been really inspirational to me.
Oh yeah, guests are welcome back at any time. Anytime.
So, uh, but so do you want to take over the world, Adam? Do
What's that?
you want to take over the world?
I think I already am.
Well, I was God for 10 years, so I definitely took over the world. But I just say that jokingly. But I mean, do you see yourself in say 5 years as like the head of like an organization that is like powerful and able to affect public policy and stuff like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, but you keep mentioning me, and this isn't just mine. The Mental Health Warriors, yeah, I built it. I built the bus. I started driving it first. Doesn't mean it's mine.
Right.
It's everyone's. It's the viewers. It's yours, Dale. Mental Health Warriors is yours. It's Kerry's. It's Dorota's. It's Jason's. Steve's. It's everyone's. I don't want to be in control here. I want this to be a safe space for people to post, whether it's on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and just share. I need help. I need someone to talk to. I need someone to vent my anger out, vent all this pain out at. And we're just going to pick up that phone or just listen and just listen to them.
Right.
That's
Well,
what I want the Mental Health Warriors to be. I don't want it to be a controlling organisation. I don't. No way. I want this to be a safe space.
cooperation and collaboration instead of competition.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I think that's the wave of the future, and that's why I'm so optimistic about the future of the mental health warriors because we're encouraging people to cooperate and collaborate on solving the problems that they not only they have but everybody else has. And
Yeah.
I think that mental illness or mental in England you call it mental health, but we call it mental illness in
It's
the United
mental
States.
illness, yes.
But COVID is like really. I mean, that's one of the things that COVID has done is it's really like highlighted the fact that everybody has issues and everybody, isn't happy. And I think that we're working together through the mental health warriors to really confront that and to end the stigma not only of mental illness but also the stigma of just like social alienation that
Yeah.
the whole world suffers from.
Yes. Yes. I agree. I agree. And let's do it. Let's do it.
Well,
Unity. Let's build this community.
do you have any? We have about 6 minutes left, so just do you have any parting thoughts or any advice or any ideas that you want to?
Absolutely. Yeah. I am so grateful and I acknowledge and I love the fact that people keep returning to watch our shows. I love it. Like Deborah, Robert, yourself. I'm just truly grateful for you all. And I thank you. But I know thank you will never be enough. But I want people to keep sharing our shows, whatever platform you tuned in on. Please share it. Share this with people that you believe, oh yeah, every Tom, Dick and Harry will actually resonate with this topic. Like I said earlier, there's going to be new faces and familiar faces that are going to cover new topics. So I guarantee right now, give it about a month's time, you probably won't be talking about schizophrenia. You'll probably be talking about, I don't know, addiction, like you started tonight.
Or
And
even
this is what
poetry.
Exactly. Poetry. And that's why you're the poetic warrior.
Yeah.
But there you go. Well, there's going to be new topics for people to look out for. My Facebook profile is on public, so anyone can see my profile. I'll be uploading TV guides every single Sunday, and I guarantee, this week has been a quiet week. Yes, it has, but next week is going to be busy. But in next week after, it's going to be even busier. Just look out for that. Just look out for it. Keep sharing.
Well, they say that the process of evolution is one organism growing into a more complex system and integrating, and taking that old paradigm, that old organ, and integrating it into a new organ. And that's what I see as the mental health warriors. It's like we're just going to continue growing because we're offering we are offering the products that the world needs.
Exactly.
And people need to be able to talk about these things. And I admire, I congratulate and uh, and admire you for having the vision to get this going in the first place, Adam.
Thank you. Thank you for actually being part of this community. But also, like I keep saying, also, I don't care about how many people are tuned in at once to the lives. I don't care. I don't care if there's one person, 10 people, 100, 1,000, 10 million. I don't care. If we could help just that one person with what we're talking about, I believe our job's done. And then we can move on to the next. And that's the attitude you need in this life.
Right.
Mm.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Adam. I'm glad we caught up with the mental health warriors and where they're going and where they've been and where they're going, where they are and where they're going. So, uh, I'd just like to say that I really appreciate and honor the fact that you came on the show, and also all that you're doing, and your drive and your vision and your determination to make things happen. And I'm beside you all the way, Adam. And I just want to say thank you for all the people that you're reaching, that you're helping, whether no matter who they are or where they are and when they are.
Exactly. And obviously for people that need to know, there is 2 more shows happening this week. One is going to happen tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. UK, when the return of the audience with the Queen, when my beautiful partner Kerry Duval will be back, and she will be joined by Steve Knapp. So Steve Knapp will be back as well. The thing is, with that one, there's going to be a twist. That is all I'm sharing with you on that one. But on Thursday, my show will be back, Warriors of Attraction, at 8 p.m. UK time. And I'll be discussing what we don't normally talk about. And I'll be joined by professional doctor Beverly Murray, and we're going to be talking about the stigma surrounding eating disorders. There you go. Them are the final 2 shows for this week.
That's another thing that people sweep under the rug.
Exactly. So there you go. They're the shows to look out for.
Well, great. Thanks for joining me, Adam. It's been great talking with you. And anything I can do to help. One thing. How do people get the mugs and the pens?
If you actually, I'll put it in a comment now. If people can email this email address, we will sort it out for you. Hang on. There you go. I've put the email for. So people that don't know, that's the email. That's the email address you need to email, and we can give you a quote on the mug and the pen if you want both, and there you go.
Okay, great. Well, once again, thanks a lot, Adam, and keep up the good work. And we'll see each other soon. And thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give the farewell and everybody have a great week. I hope to see you next Tuesday again. I'm not sure who I'm not sure who my guest will be, but it will be someone interesting and insightful. So have a great night.